Hi, I'm Josh Wolf, and today I'm speaking on the hypothetical situation of speaking to the citizens of Ohio. In recent years, we have had pandemics such as H1N1, swine flu, and Ebola, and a few others that weren't as big, but still globally recognized. Over the years and the illnesses, those illnesses have had the same title. They were all supposed to be the world enders. Many social media and media sources stated and claimed that that's what was going to happen, saying they had scientific studies and everything else. But they all soon fell short in the long run due to vaccines, good healthcare workers, and research. There was also less of a public panic, but were still nasty viruses. But it didn't cause a national shutdown. Why is that? The coronavirus is the only one that has caused something this big on a global scale, not just a national scale. It is unlike anything that anyone has ever seen. The entire nation shut down in just a matter of days, and it happened all so fast. In Ohio, the death toll is 1,331 deaths. But the issue with this is that if you look up other illnesses such as pneumonia, the flu, and other diagnosable illnesses, the case numbers have gone down since the pandemic has started, which is a little odd. Meaning, what is all being classified as COVID? What is being a diagnosed case? What are people being told when it could it just be a common flu and we're just believing what we're told? And is our information that we're receiving reliable? I would also like to encourage the citizens of Ohio to do research on their own and see with their own eyes what is going on. I think that a population of any kind would respond better if the restrictions were turned into suggestions and the regulations were also turned into suggestions. I believe that it would have caused less panic and would have been able to keep the population under control and not panic by toilet paper. It kind of feels like government is trying to control the population with the restrictions and regulations that are happening. Well, it seems like government control is just providing safety for the population. The personal research that I encourage to do would allow somebody to have time invested and to see for themselves, not just what the media is telling them to believe. And I have a few eye-opening facts about the coronavirus, which could spark some interest in personal research. For example, every year there are roughly 70,000 people that have died from the flu in the U.S. a year. There are already 29,000 deaths from the corona, and it's continuing to grow, which in the last hour has grown to over 5,000 deaths. On a global scale, there are roughly 650,000 deaths from the flu, and in a few short months of 2020, there are already 239,000 deaths from the corona, which in an hour jumped to 275,000 deaths from corona. But it's not all gloom for other countries like it is for us and many others. There are countries that are in much better shape. For example, Greenland and the Danish realm They haven't had a new case in weeks. Their approach was that the Danish government on March 13th closed off the borders to anyone that wasn't a citizen. They wouldn't allow anyone to come in without a reasonable purpose. And tourism and visiting family would not allow you to come in. And if you were able to and admitted into the country, you were on a mandatory 14-day quarantine. And after those during those 14 days, on day 5, you had to do a mandatory corona test. But their approach seems to be working because they have only had 11 cases since the whole pandemic has started globally, and have reached a 100% survival rate of those 11 deaths, or those 11 confirmed cases. Greenland is staying to themselves and keeping out outside sources such as trades and people. America is one of the leading case numbers of any nation, and it's got people thinking, was it too late? Did we start too late on the regulations? We also have some of the most strict restrictions out of any other country. We have to maintain 10 or less people in a group, 6 feet apart, face masks, and etc. But we still have 1.3 million cases and growing. So what's going wrong? I believe that it's the lack of information being told to us through the media and the doctors that we are supposed to trust. I believe if people were to do their own research and have their own minds and able to think for themselves, that this wouldn't have got to this point. Although it is nasty and scary, we would have been able to get through it. The restrictions still obviously in play, but the panic buying and the economy starting to go under, I think could have all been prevented by rational thinking and not just panic everything. The details aren't fully being shared, I believe. All we know now is that the virus spread and it is bad. Does anybody really know what's happening? So today I challenge you to make up your own mind, do your own research, and to live in this time